Hey everybody, welcome to the Double Stuff Podcast, where we're double the hosts, now doubling the topics, and double the fun. I'm Sarah.
I'm Charity.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Alan.
Ah, so he even sung it.
He always sings it, or he shouts it.
I like the sing-songy angle a little bit better.
Thank you.
So today we're going to talk about, actually I don't know what we're going to talk about because that'll be up to Charity
Got
to
the
pick our
magic
two topics.
Okay, here it comes.
Da-da-da-da.
First topic is, what does your name mean? Ooh. All together. Ooh. Okay. And our last topic, what did you collect as a kid?
Ooh.
Ooh, we collected names.
I collected rocks.
Actually, I could totally see you doing
Pre-internet.
that. Versus those internet rocks that we get now. So I guess we can start with, our name. What does our names mean and all that
Seems
kind of
appropriate.
stuff? It does.
Is it like the breakdown of like the history of the name, or is it like what we're named for, or?
I think it could be anything, like whatever
it
your
means to you.
whatever your
I
origins
can
are.
start off because
Go ahead,
I know
Alan.
exactly where my name came
Yeah.
from. Because I'm Alan
got a
Ethan
number.
the fourth.
Yeah, it was really hard to name you. Like we got three
Yeah.
others.
Yeah, there's my father, who was, to differentiate him from his father, he was Little Al. And then my grandfather, also Alan Atha, was Big Al. And then the first Alan Atha was Hap for some reason. And I don't know.
Oh.
And as a kid, I remember calling him Happy. So I did know my great grandfather.
Oh, that's cool.
And I heard Hap, but as a kid's vocabulary, Hap doesn't really mean anything, but Happy does.
Yeah.
So I would call him Happy.
So
You need to have another child.
Well, we tried, and we had two girls, and so
You
that's
didn't- so Audrey and Alan, it's sort of the same.
And in the cul-de-sac that I lived in California, I had two other really good dad friends. Mm-hmm. Each of them had three girls, and I had two girls. So it was in the cards on the
You needed a
cul-de-sac.
matching set.
There was no boys that were going to be born. So anyway, that's how I have, and I don't have a middle name, and that often adds a lot of confusion, especially most recently with all of the vaccinations. When you're sitting down talking to a nurse and like, what's your middle name? I don't have one. Oh, really? And everybody went, well, really? Why is that? Why is that? So that's often.
That's true.
Yeah. And what's really confusing is often I'll just leave it blank because sometimes if I write in none or in A, people will think that's...
They'll put that in.
Alan not.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
if you did, what would you want your middle name to be? Like, have you thought about that?
My girls they've thought long and hard about it for about 2 seconds, and they came up with Bob.
Alan
I'd be
Bob.
Alan
Well, I guess
Bob.
it'd be Alan
Alan
Roberts.
No,
Alan
nope,
Roberts.
it's
Alan
not
Bob.
Robert.
It's not Robert?
I asked them, and they're like, no, it's Bob.
It's just plain old Bob.
just Bob.
It's probably easier to spell. I was going to go with Hoopastank for you. So.
But we'll call it Bob for sure.
So anyway, I don't know, other than the lineage, I don't know where it originated or why it is. I know that my father went to Ireland, and the last name Atha is in Ireland. Over there it's pronounced Atha, which is how often people pronounce my name.
Yeah.
I think I did that when I first met you.
Yeah.
Most people do. Most people do. It doesn't mess me up at all because a lot of people do. It's an odd name that you never see ever. So
Yeah.
it goes with the territory for a mispronunciation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think because Alan, it's a short A, so it just kind of flows if you want to say Alan Atha.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
probably true.
Yeah, the double A, like Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Sarah took
we
it to
go.
a different...
Wow. That is not where my name came from. Anyway, but that's sort of where I'm at with the origins of my name.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah.
So mine is, as far as I was told anyway, so Daniel comes from a friend of my father's. They would like to go hiking, skiing, that kind of stuff. And at one point, they were stuck together on a mountain and nearly died.
Oh, wow.
So he was just a really close friend of
What
my
mountain?
dad's. I don't know, someplace in like Vermont, I think, or something
Okay.
like that.
Vermont. Mount Vermont.
Mount Vermont.
For mountain. Yeah.
Or New Hampshire or one of those places. So yeah, that's just that's where that first part of the name comes from Daniel is from a friend of my father's. And then my last name Spina is actually an adopted name of my father's. So Spina is the same situation as yours. It gets mispronounced all the time as Spina or Spina around here. Not back east, it doesn't. But I have a lot of Scottish ancestry, but my father was adopted when he was younger by my grandfather with an Italian name. So I ended up with a Scottish family with an Italian name.
like
in the middle of Kansas. So
Wow.
those are where my two names come from.
What about your middle name?
It's named after my dad,
Okay. Oh, okay. So it just goes along with the. Okay.
Wait, I missed that. What's your dad's name?
Charles.
Charles. Okay.
Oh, your middle name's Charles?
Yeah.
Oh. Daniel Charles.
Daniel Charles.
Spina. Okay. I'll allow it.
You allow it. It flows together all right.
That sounds like a character from like a Dickens book or something.
does.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Here in the home of Daniel Charles Spina.
Well, and my dad was originally I think a third or a fourth.
Oh.
So if things had gone differently, I could have been
So you lost track.
fourth or a fifth. I don't know what it was. So.
like 3 or 4. I don't know. We'll just start over and call it Daniel the first.
There you
Daniel
go.
first.
All right,
Daniel
Charity.
the only.
Daniel the only.
Just Dan. So our parents wanted names that were in the Bible. So my name, Charity, means love. So it's not really a mystery. I think most people already knew that before getting into the podcast.
I always thought it was an ironic name, to be honest.
Nobody asked you, princess.
You hear that? That was the mic drop sound, except we're too precious about our microphones. So.
Yeah.
I don't know where our last name came from. The only thing is it
The only thing we know about the Harmon thing, and it's just because of history.
because of slavery.
Our name came from the Harmon plantation.
It's a plantation
wow.
owner, so
Yeah.
it's not really ours, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the only history that we know at the moment about our
Wow.
Harmon background.
Because the slaves would take on the name of their masters.
Sure.
So,
Masters.
yeah. Which that kind of makes me not want it. I want to get married.
You know you can change it.
Yeah, you totally could.
Yeah, but I don't know what else goes with Charity. I've met other people named Charity, and like their last names
Fundraiser.
don't fit.
Charity fundraiser.
Oh my
It
god.
was there the whole time.
I mean, you have free reign, so it could be like awesomeness. Could be your
Yeah.
last name.
Yeah, I feel like people wouldn't take me serious. Quit trashing my name. What if I wanted to pick awesomeness?
Just pick a hyphenated one. Is the best. There you go.
Is
okay.
hyphen the hyphen best.
And then become a rapper.
Charity I am.
Sure I am.
Well, and then your middle name,
Oh, do you remember?
it just means.
Hopefully you would remember your
No,
name.
well,
Do you
I
remember
know.
my middle name? That's what I thought we were going with this.
Well, I think just I don't know the
What is
the
my middle
origins.
name?
It's Charity Elizabeth Harmon, and
My sister's middle name.
oh, nice. I think she probably just did Elizabeth because it's another biblical name.
Well, my name was almost Joy, which is your
Yeah,
name.
it was originally going to be Charity Joy and then Sarah
Oh
Elizabeth,
my gosh, I'm so
and
glad it's not Charity Joy.
that makes two of
You're gonna
us.
make me sound like those Amish people that don't get out the house.
It's okay. That's the defining feature of the Amish.
These are my sons, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and my daughters, Faith, Hope, and Charity. It's just like, do we have to be a matching biblical set?
See, yeah. And personally, I mean, I guess if my name was Sarah Elizabeth, I'd learn to live with
No,
it. But
Sarah Elizabeth is a very common name. Like I've seen
it is a
people with
common
that
middle name. But I like Sarah Joy Harmon. I think it goes pretty well, and I like. Sometimes I say I live up to my middle name in some ways.
Oh, God is my oath.
That's what Elizabeth means?
That's what Elizabeth means.
Really?
I know Sarah means. Well,
Princess.
I've always been told that Sarah means princess.
Not that you live up to that one.
Give it time. Give it time. I will buy myself a crown.
You can't buy yourself royalty.
Hey, next time we revisit, what's the most expensive thing you bought? It'll be a royal crown.
I think you can't you buy yourself like a duke or a duchess thing from like
You-
Scotland?
you
Yeah, you,
You
can
can
buy
buy a
like
plot
that
of
5x5
Yeah.
patch of
You get a
land
crown
or
to go
whatever.
with
Yeah,
it?
be like Lord Sarah of Scotland, or not Lord, Lady Sarah.
Buy a plastic crown from a party store, buy a patch of land, and then go bury it somewhere. And then many, many years later, somebody's going to find it and think royalty was there.
That's a sad. If that's all you get from your royal status, that's sad.
I will say what's funny about the Sarah Joy Harmon, back when I had no self-esteem at all and I hated everything about myself, including my name, I wanted to make myself, and I remember in class learning about pseudonames, how some people would have their writer's name or their author's name or pen name. And so I had picked, in my mind now it's stupid, but my reading my pen name was Candy L. McBrown.
Oh.
Which is,
I remember that.
oh my gosh, I realize now, for anyone in the world that's named Candy L. McBrown, I'm sure it's a beautiful name, but it doesn't fit me.
No, because you wrote that at the end of one of your papers or something.
Something like that, yeah.
What did the L stand for?
Oh, what did the L stand for?
Loser.
Candy Loser McBrown.
You're in a real dark place there. Right?
Well, I know the brown. The brown was for Charlie Brown.
Self-deprecating is my thing. You can't have that.
That's why I was like, I guess I'm Sarah Joy Harmon. But thankfully, with people like recognizing me, people think that Joy and Harmon are hyphenated names. They think Joy is my.
Well, no, I think they think Joy is part of your first name, like Marianne. It'd be Sarah Joy. Like I think they think
some
Joy
people.
is
Well,
part
some
of your
people's
first.
like Miss Joy is from Wichita. So some
I've
people.
never heard someone who thinks Joy is your last name.
Well, since I started doing my screenings and stuff throughout the city, a lot of them comes as Sarah Joy Harmon. So like I said, they think Joy Harmon is hyphenated. Some people, they call me Miss Joy as if that's my last name. So then I tell them this, that's actually my middle name, so I say Sarah. But they call me by my like three names, like, you know. So, but I've learned to enjoy my name. I think my name is cool now, but yeah, I didn't like it before. But I
Probably
think
because
it
it's
sounds
very
good.
common. I mean, I remember growing up, there was, we went through a K through 12 school, and there was at least one Sarah in every class.
There was at least two or three.
If not
yeah.
two or three, yeah. And so, in the way that the school was set up, like if you wanted to go to the lunchroom, you had to pass like all the classrooms pretty much. So if anyone in the hallway was like, "Hey, Sarah," anyone from kindergarten to
Yeah,
senior
we're all like,
year
yes,
would all
yes,
be like,
yes.
"Yes." So like everybody was named Sarah of
point.
various spellings. So it was a very common name.
Yeah.
That is difficult with Sarah.
Yeah, I
never know.
had to lose a nickname too. Like I was mentioning, my father was Little Al, and then to differentiate me from all the other Allens, they called me Clint. And apparently,
My mind was wrong. I
Yeah.
was like, where is he going? What could possibly be the nickname?
up until like the second grade, not only was it Clint, but it was Clint Boy.
Clint
Boy Athan.
Yeah, and so I was called Clint Boy until I was in the second grade, and then we had an opportunity, or we had a move, and I took it as an opportunity to say, I am done with being called Clint Boy.
I'm Clint Man.
I am Clinton Man. Thank you very much.
And then I didn't realize that I was going to get into a whole nother set. So do you spell that A-L-A-N or A-L-L-E-N?
Yeah.
Now my answer is I spell it the right way, and I just wait for them to look at me like, what does that mean?
ALLYNNE.
I was gonna say no. I've met someone that has L-Y-N, Alan.
Oh, really?
L-Y-A-N?
Yeah, you can spell it
can
just
spell it
about
either
any way
way.
you
Oh
want. That's the
gosh.
thing with names. There's no rules.
Yeah.
I just wait. I'm just. So do you spell it A-L-A-N or A-L-L-E-N? I spell it the right way, and then just be quiet.
You just sit there and stare them down.
You got to go with like the Jeff Goldblum joke where there's like, how do you spell your name, Alan? And you'd be like, why are you talking to me?
Yes, that's the one I saw on Facebook. It's like, is it pronounced Go Bloom or Go Blum? And it's like, it doesn't matter. Why are you talking to me? And I was like, that's such a good line. That's such a Go Bloom thing to say anyway.
Oh man.
We need to get that much clout so that way if someone has the audacity to talk to us, we'll go that route.
Okay, but we need to move on to what did you collect as a kid? Because after this, we got to figure out how to connect the two.
Names, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan's got a whole collection of
I
Clint
guess
Boy
so.
and Alan.
Clint Boy memorabilia.
Yeah. I still have a couple of things that my mother's kept, and on the back I've signed it like in elementary school, Clint Boy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But see, it doesn't make sense for them to call you that in school. Like that, I feel like that's just a family nickname. So like if you're with your dad or your grandpa or whatever, then they could say, okay, we're talking to Clint Boy, but you don't need that at school.
I haven't thought about this in years.
Are we bringing back up trauma?
I know we're bringing back up.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I have no idea.
That's it. He collects the pent up anger for being called that.
Well, other than collecting names, Alan, what did you collect as a kid?
Yeah, I was never one for baseball cards. My brother did baseball cards. As far as collecting things, I collected a lot of Legos. I collected a lot of G.I. Joes. I guess action figures. I was big into action figures. I would have tons of battles. I had He-Man. Oh, that's a collection that later on I found out from my mother. She regretted that I had just due to like sorcery connotations. But see, as a kid, I wasn't thinking about that. They're just action figures, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I mainly just, I was big into, like, if I had any money, KB Toys, and then go to the action figures wall. But there wasn't, like, a specific, I had to have all of, like, the complete set. It was just whatever looked the coolest. Or another, with G.I. Joes, whoever had the most accessories, like the most guns that would come with the G.I. Joe. Because some G.I. Joes came with, like, one, and, like, others came with all kinds of different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah?
I personally don't remember doing a lot of collecting. I will say I was unpacking some boxes a few days ago, and I came across my American Girls trading cards.
I still have some of those
that
too.
I have not seen since junior high. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because I mean, I don't know if American Girls still do that, but they used to have trading cards. I didn't know how that worked. I just thought you just had cards. I didn't know it was like, well, you have 2 Addy cards, so I'll take one and do this. I just had them, and I still have them. I came across it in a box about 2 or 3 days ago.
I have some in my jewelry box too. Yeah. We should trade.
We should trade. Yeah. I mean, they're probably worth a little bit now. I don't know how much, but a little bit now. And in terms of what I collect now, just because as a kid, I don't think I did a lot, but I will say now, I say I collect comedy. That's what I say. and it can vary from DVDs to, T-shirts. Thankfully my dad's been able to find me some autograph stuff from some of my favorite comedians.
So I guess that connects to your name or your middle name.
With joy.
Comedy brings joy to one and all. We connected. I connected. I'm the one who always connected these.
Yeah, we don't have to hear about anyone else's. We're done now. We already put mine. But yeah, that's so I say I don't know if I can collect stuff as a kid, but now I collect anything that makes me laugh. So yeah.
Nice.
That's what I do.
Nice.
Dan, did you?
I mean, there was something that I collected when I was younger that I don't really do anymore was movies, and specifically like DVDs.
Yeah.
So I had a collection of, I think it was like 556 by the time I left.
Decent.
It is, yeah.
And then I got rid of a lot of them along the way, especially because I couldn't take them to college with me and stuff like that. But I had a whole wall. Now, the other thing, though, that like kind of more of a collection that I still collect to this day is Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
Just anything Star Wars. So like I would have like
we've
beta
seen your
TVs.
lightsaber a few times.
And I'd have like Betamax tapes of like the original trilogy, and I'd have like the full VHS set, and then I would get the most random stuff, like when they would do collectible like soda cans. I would just collect all of the versions of the Star Wars soda cans they have, and I'd stick them on my Star Wars shelf.
You still got those?
No, I got rid of a lot of that stuff. So what I did is they had like kind of a clean break in Star Wars when Disney took over, where they stopped sort of counting a lot of the old stuff, and I used that as an opportunity to be like, all right, I'm done with that, and now I'm moving on to a new fresh collection.
Gotcha.
So
I was like, I'm sure that stuff was a pretty penny. Like,
some of it could be. The trash was probably not, because I would drink the soda. They weren't full.
Okay, I was like,
were they still on there?
It was literally trash in my bedroom. So
trash with a picture on it.
Yeah. I mean, you can call it recycling if you want, but it was like cereal like empty cereal boxes, and it was just trash.
I mean, some people take their collections and they make full on like museums in their houses.
I've seen those shows, and that stresses me out. Like, because it's cool to have a collection, but I think it gets too much because then it just becomes clutter.
Yeah.
And then you have to have insurance on all that stuff. Like if someone breaks in or if your house burns down or whatever. And like, if I were to have something that was like really cool, like I think I would want it in a museum, like maybe just because I want it out of my house. But it's like, it'd be cool if other people saw. Otherwise, it's just sitting in your basement kind of, I don't know, collecting dust, I guess.
Yeah.
That seems to be the pro and con of collecting, right? Especially people that are like full on die hard with whatever it is. Well, one is an expensive hobby, depending on what it is, and like
I mean, if you have a way to display it, fine. But I've seen some people's houses like, this is my collection. Like, no, you need to get a trash bag and like clean this.
Like you're
up.
hoarding. That's not collecting.
Yeah, that's a bit much. The only thing that I collected as a kid, I remember collecting keychains for a while. I went.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went to like 2 or 3 years where I just had like I had keys to any place. Like I couldn't drive, I couldn't get into any place, but I had a ton of keychains. And actually, you know, you were talking about cleaning out your stuff. I just got rid of a box of really old stuff that I forgot I had, but it had one of my old keychains in it, and it was like a Converse shoe with flowers on it or whatever.
Oh,
yeah, and it was like a plastic see-through keychain.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and like, which is weird because, you know, I'm still not super flower power girly or whatever, but I don't know why I had a pink Converse with flowers on
Maybe
it.
it was given to you as a gift.
Maybe, but I remember having two of them, and I had a blue one. Who knows where the blue one's at? It's somewhere between here and
Should've
Indiana
insured it.
landfill.
That's not like an expedition. It's like
Yeah.
we're on the search of the blue Converse keychain.
Well, I did have a keychain. I guess it sort of connects it too. I remember someone giving me a keychain with my name on it, like one of those
Yes.
like tourist collection thing. Because I mean, you guys have pretty normal names, but unless you're going to a Christian bookstore or Hobby Lobby or Mardel's or something, you don't really see charity.
Not a lot of
on
monogram stuff.
anything. Yeah. You know, like, or, you know, back when Coca-Cola had the buy your friend a Coke thing and they had names on it.
yes.
There's no charity Coke. You know, like, so my name's hardly on anything. So, like, I think someone had heard me say that and then they found a keychain with my name on it. And so that was, like, really cool because that never happens.
Well, kind of along those lines, like I know my name is Sarah, but it's Sara. But most now it's changed within the past maybe decade, but everything was Sarah. You know, because that was, I guess, the best or the more correct way to say Sarah. So I ended up, when I was little, and I didn't have money as a kid, but I remember going to Kmart, I don't know how many, 25 years ago or something, and in the little novelty section I came across a keychain that says Sarah, Sara on it, and I was like, oh, can I buy this? Can we buy this? And I actually still have it attached to my keychain right now.
Nice.
Oh, do you?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I'll show it to you after the podcast.
Well,
Does anybody have like accidental collections? And by that I mean, like, let me give you an example. My brother-in-law's
like empty
fiance,
soda cans.
I know what you're
like
talking
things
about, and I
that
have
people
one.
think that you
Yeah.
really like, so they give you stuff that's like to that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So like my brother-in-law's fiance, for some reason people think she really likes salt and pepper, novelty salt and pepper shakers.
Huh.
And they will get her like characters and like figure, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like things that are just like funny, and she doesn't want them.
Interesting.
I'm trying
Right?
to think if I've gotten an
that-
accidental.
you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where like you express interest like one time in something, and then
Yeah.
like everybody just gets it for you.
I thought you were going in a different direction. I thought the accidental collection, because I do have this, is a giant ring of keys that I have no idea what they go to anymore.
But you can't
but
get rid
I
of
can't
it.
get rid of them.
That's my cable bag.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's my accidental
Okay,
collection.
yeah.
I have a giant, it's got to be like 10 pounds now worth of like just
Oh my
random
gosh.
keys that I've collected since our first apartment, you know, in Upland,
Yeah.
California.
Be brave, Alan. Get rid of them.
I got to, right?
I feel like this is a documentary where he's just gonna go drive around and just be like, let's see what these keys unlock to. Gonna go from like California to Kansas. He's just
Yeah.
gonna start unlocking doors.
What are you doing? Shut up, I'm working. Leave me alone.
Beat it. I have a zipped up fabric bag that has just cables in it from all sorts of
Sure.
stuff, which is great because when I need a cable, I can just dive in there and grab
Right,
one.
yeah, yeah.
I got a few, not enough to make a full sack out of it, I guess.
Oh,
I have some old phone chargers that
I do have a bunch of
I'm
phone
starting
chargers.
to get a collection because I've had different smartphones over the years. I
Right.
mean, now everybody's kind of got the same charger, but
Yes.
like earlier cell phones,
Yeah.
Yeah, they were so many.
Everyone had their own unique phone
yeah.
Yes.
and their unique charger.
Yep.
And
USB,
yeah,
micro USB.
Yeah.
yeah, and so
Well,
yeah,
even
I got rid
before
of some of
that,
those.
Like all kinds of like weird, 17 pins with like
Yes.
springs on the side.
Yes, I still have my charger from my iPod that does not even work anymore.
Yeah.
So I've got it from a little bit of everywhere. So we've actually kind of have a collection of
thoughts.
podcast episodes since we've almost hit our 2-year anniversary with that. So I
right.
guess that's a segue, maybe. But thank you guys for listening in. If you have some really cool, unique, interesting collections, or if we want to know the origins of your name, where it comes from in history
We'll
or
take a
something,
guess.
We'll take a guess.
Tell us your name. We'll tell you where it comes from.
Give us your mother's maiden name and your father's name.
And the name of your first car.
Yeah, and your first pet. None of these have anything to do with security questions at all.
Of course not. We're not trying to buy a new podcast studio. Right now.
No. We don't do stuff like that. But if you feel so inclined, just contact us. We're available on all different podcast platforms. You can also check us out on our website at doublestuffpod.com. Of course, we're available on all the social media platforms, so Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Double Stuff Podcast, and on Twitter at Double Stuff P, and that's the letter P.